Hello beer tubers and welcome to quite a different video here on the Master of Hoppets. Today we're testing some beer gear, some beer gadgets. This is a sponsored episode. This episode is sponsored by iGulu, who sent me this fancy brew kit here. So I usually haven't been playing around a lot with gadgets and beer. Mainly I've just been drinking beer. But there's a lot of beer gadgets, beer foamers and all kinds of weird stuff. But this actually sounds really cool. So this is the iGulu. It is a all-in-one homebrewing machine where you brew kits. And this seems to be the easiest way to get started in brewing. It seems so simple from what I've seen here. So I think we're gonna have a very, very easy time brewing. This is gonna be fun to see how this will turn out because I'm a professional brewer, so I know how beer will taste and how beer is supposed to taste. I know about the processes. But this is just plug and play. You pitch extracts and there you go. So we got two kits to try out. In this first video, we're gonna try out this one, which is their English Porter kit. And then they also sent me this, which is their Master Activation card. And what this does is that it lets you go into what's called Master mode, where you can create your own recipes and stuff. So if you get malt extracts or like, you could even like make your own fermentation log, I guess. Things like that. So this is for creating things yourself. And I'm not sure if you need this to create the other fermented beverages you can make on this, because you can also make like cider, you can make wine, you can make mead, you can make kombucha, like anything that's fermented, because this can do pressurized fermentation as you have in professional breweries, which is really cool. And you need to include this at some point. It doesn't come with a machine, but a CO2 battery. So, you have CO2 on the machine. And what's also seemingly cool about this is that you can connect 5-liter mini kegs if you don't want to brew with it and just use it as a keg dispenser. And they're going to last longer because you can add CO2 and dispense with CO2 instead of oxygen. So, pretty cool piece of kit here. I even think people said you could make sodas in it. So there's a lot of people trialing different things with this. So I think we should get it open, see what we got. Got the box open, got the manual here with some stickers. I'll check this out before I operate it. And then this is the tap handle, I think. Well, that's got some weight to it. And then we got, this is the dispensing hose, I think, with a stainless steel spear. Wow, that's pretty cool. Oh, or maybe this is for pressurizing. Ah, this is a carbonation stone, maybe. And what do we have in here? This is, the power. This is the European plug. So what is this? A drip tray / mat. Where do we open this? So this is, I guess this is the mat and drip tray. And here we have the machine. Wow, it's big. I had a feeling it'd be big. Is this it? No, that's not to carry it. Wow. There we are. See if there's anything else here in the bottom. Nope, that's it. It looks like one of those perfect draft systems almost. Like some of those draft systems you can get for at-home use. Like Philips Perfect Draft and all this. So here we go. This is some stickers. So stick it, scan, and so this is to stick on your machine if you want to order some more brew kits. Here is the manual to how to install it and use it. This is the dispensing coupler. Okay, so a guide for that, which is what you use to dispense mini kegs. Oh, cool. So it's actually a spear for dispensing 5-liter mini kegs. I need to try and use this. I want to get some Slenkerlaugh and 5-liter mini kegs. I mean, you could get any kind of 5-liter mini keg and make it last longer because it's going to add CO2 back into the keg. That is really freaking cool. Okay, this is an impressive piece of kit. It looks really quality, like a really high quality build. So I guess we can install the tap handle here on top, although that's not necessary yet. And that's all the installation you need, or what? And then we've got the spear, and there must be some more installation guides inside. But this is basically, this is where you put on your CO2 bottle. It even has a small pressure gauge, so you can see the pressure of your bottle, and you can turn it on and off. So you only, I guess, turn it on once fermentation is finished. And then in here, there's a little bit about how to install everything. So let's see, I need to take this off, I'm sure. Boop. So this is the draft line. I guess you need to clean this once in a while as well. But you can, I guess you can just do that with like Star Sand or something and pressurize the keg and pump it out. Like, it's pretty impressive. Here we go. And then the rest is, I guess, for cooling. There's a hose there. And this is the actual fermentation chamber. So I think this is a 5-liter fermentation, 1 gallon fermentation vessel. That's like 4 liters. And this is what you use to ferment your products. And then you open this, and inside, this is the lid, and it's got an airlock and everything, a safety pressure relief valve. This is also, I guess, the spear for tapping out beer when the beer is finished fermenting. And then in the fermentation vessel here, we have some gaskets for somewhere in the machine. We got a little, shouldn't be standing there, a guide. Oh yeah, this is where to attach the gaskets. And then I think this is maybe just an extra dispensing hose. It looks like it. Oh no, this is for the CO2, of course. So this is for the CO2. Okay, so I'm gonna have a look through the manual, and we're gonna try and get to brewing our very first kit with the iGulu, the English porter. So I just finished cleaning the fermentation chamber. I cleaned it with caustic, because that's what we use in professional breweries. And then I brought some isopropyl alcohol spray to sterilize, because we use this in breweries as well, and I'm wearing gloves, because we don't want a contaminated batch the first time around. And we're gonna put this gasket on, the seal, which is what's gonna make everything nice and snug, if I can. There we go. That was a gasket. And now the top here is ready. I can actually also take this off because we don't need to add the dispensing thing yet. So everything is clean and ready to go. And this is the fermentation bucket. So I'm just gonna, it's got a little bit of water. Just gonna spray some of the alcohol in here on the sides. And it's not something that's gonna affect your beer. Like, we use it all the time in brewing for sterilizing purposes, and it will evaporate. So we got that. Now we need to add our water. They suggest to use sterile water, so we actually bought some mineral water for this. Also, what's fun about this, you can actually see what water profile you'll have on your beer because it has all the values. So it's high in calcium, low in sulfate, low in chloride. If you actually wanted to geek out, or actually high in chloride, but it's very low values. So I'm not sure it's gonna do anything really. But what you could do is you could actually treat this water with brewing salts and make it more professional. But what would be more fun is actually making a normal batch of beer, I guess, and then using this as a fermentation vessel. Because with this, for example, there is the issue of dry hopping. You can't dry hop in this machine. And the reason why you can't do that is because you will add hops into that and they're gonna get stuck in your lines for pouring out the beer. So it was 4 gallons, which is about 4 liters, I think. So we got plenty of water here. Oh, we're gonna stop there. Good. So that was the water. And now we're gonna get on with the kit. So this is the English Porter kit. And it comes with everything you need. So it just said on the back here how to add it and in what order to add things. So here we got the malt extract. It's from Breeze. Breeze is quite well known in the States. I've never used Breeze malt because you can't get Breeze in Europe. And then we got the hop extract for bittering and the hop extract for aroma. And finally, our yeast. Sachet of yeast. Dry brewing yeast. It doesn't say what kind, but it says a general purpose yeast for a wide range of things. Made in China. Huh, interesting. Like that's also where you could play around because you could pitch your own yeasts if you wanted to do that and have a different fermentation profile because of that. And the final, the RFT sticker, which is the recipe. So this is what we need to scan when we get to brewing. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna add our ingredients. Got a spoon for mixing and a pair of scissors for opening. I'm just being extra careful. I'm used to using alcohol in everything when I'm brewing. So firstly, I want you to dip the hop extract in the water. So we're gonna add the hop extracts first. I don't know if I need a scissor for this. No. So we're gonna do, this feels so weird because I'm not used to brewing like this. So this is the bittering extract. Can't really smell it. There we go. So that's the bittering. This is so weird. Like I'm used to working with extracts in making IPAs, but never like this, but it does smell like hops. And then this is an extract of Hallertau Hersbrucker hops. Wow, that's clear. These are some interesting extracts. I wonder if you could actually use some of the more modern ones that are oil-based. That smells exactly like Hersbrucker though. Spicy and dry, old school. And then we're gonna stir that around. This is so weird because this is brewing without heating because it's extract based. Like I'm used to having to mash. We're not mashing now. So I wonder if this is a blend of malt extracts or it's just their dry dark malt extracts. I'm not sure. It doesn't say. It smells like licoricey. So, oh, I need to be careful with this. A lot of brewers will use brewing extracts like this. In brewing, actually. It's not something only homebrewers use. This is a good thing to use if your gravities aren't on point. Then you can add something like this. We're just gonna mix all this very well. Interesting. It's more brown than black, the liquid. But it smells like wort. It smells like cold beer wort. Cold brewing wort. Okay, so we added everything. Now the final step before anything is to sprinkle in the yeast, close it up and put it in the fermentation tank, and we're gonna let it ferment. So this has been the easiest brew day I have ever partaken in. So let's get the brewer's yeast here and sprinkle in the yeast. I mean, I can't believe how easy this is. Like, this takes all the effort out of brewing. Then we just need to put this in, bloop. And secure it with this. And we're ready to start brewing a porter. So let's get this in. And we're gonna take it over where the machine's actually gonna be standing before we scan and everything. And we're gonna try and get this fermenting. This is, yeah, surprisingly easy. So we just need the last bits of installation here for fermentation. We're gonna install the CO2 from the get-go. Make sure it's turned off as it is right now. So it's gonna be pressurized fermentation, but just to be sure, we wanted to get this in from the beginning. So we didn't have to mingle with this later on. And then it says to put it in there, and then you have a look on this side, and you can see there's a manometer, and it says 0 now. When you turn it on, it should go up. And the manometer went up. So that means the bottle is active and it works. And then this just needs to be added on top here. Maybe I should turn this. Whoop. And then boom. This will add pressure once you start fermentation. And then the final thing we need to add is the dispensing valve. Just spritzes off. This is where you get the beer out. And what is important before you add this is that you close this tap, this pinch. Why? It's because during fermentation, pressure will be going out of the keg. And all that pressure can make beer come out. So we're gonna open this so we can feed the hose into here. And then there is a line you need to align with on both the machine and the hose. Then you put it in here, then add your magnetic strip here. Boom, and then that's closed. You can connect this to your machine. And then there's the tap faucet. Give that a spritz, and we're gonna screw that in on here as well. Oh no, you just stick it in like so. Boom! So we're good to go. And technically fermentation will start in a couple hours now because everything is in there. So we're gonna get the lid on, we're gonna put it in place, and then we're gonna activate it on the computer. Okay, let's turn it on, boom. iGulu is on, oh, it even lights up. Come closer, it says hello. iGulu. Here we are. English, yes please. I want to see bar. So this is a pressure. I know about bar, not so much PSI, because I'm European. Celsius for fermentation temperature, please. Okay, and here's all the different logs. Fermentation, you can cool, make sparkling water, what you've done, settings, some extra features. So here, oops. There's something in here, you can update it. And this, I guess it's also in here that you connect to Wi-Fi. Oh, you just swipe. And you can also connect to Bluetooth with your phone. But we're just gonna try and get this fermentation started. So you press fermentation, and then, okay, this is the pre-installed ones. So instead of doing that, we're just gonna try and put this sticker here. Ah, look at that, it says English Porter. And next. Ferment 10 days at 20 degrees, 1 day at 2 degrees, 4 days at 2 degrees for cold crashing, I guess. Brew. That was fucking easy. So in 15 days, we should be able to drink a porter. So we'll be back in 15 days and see how this turned out. This is pretty interesting. Let's see. So it's been a little more than 15 days since we brewed the iGulu English Porter kit, meaning it's ready now. And it was a really easy brew day. This is gonna be really fun because this is, we're gonna find out how this kit tastes like. So it just showed progress on the screen, said how long time was left of the brewing process. And then you could see how the temperature changes, and you could see the pressure as well. Because on the back, as you might see in the original video, we put on a CO2 cylinder for kind of like the ones used for soda machines. So you could keep head pressure with CO2 instead of oxygen, because there's also an air pump in there. So if you don't have the ability to get CO2, you can get natural CO2 through fermentation in the machine, and then you'll pump it out with oxygen with the pump, which is not good for the beer, so it will not last too long. But this is really exciting because this was the easiest brew day. It was just a kit, and we brewed it at home here on the machine, the porter, which I have poured now. So I'm just gonna pour, it's ice cold, it's 2 degrees, maybe a little too cold for this style. Let's just get a little bit more head. And you can hear the machine kicks in, and I think it's because it's letting in CO2. And I think we are having some head formation here. It started with real high pressure on the machine. So I'm wondering how the CO2 level is going to be, because it also went down a lot when the beer was cooled, but everything is, pre-installed with the chips here. So let's see. First attempt with iGulu. It's like kind of black, more brown. It's hazy. So I think it's gonna be more black, if the yeast would settle out completely, but since it's a homebrew and all, and like there's no finings, the beer will be a little bit hazy, but let's check it out. Very toasty. You know, it smells much more clean than most home brews, which is because it's temperature controlled, the fermentation, and pressurized. It smells like clean beer. I mean, one of the things I'm always scared of, like when I was home brewing and all that, sometimes you have had infections or like it would smell weird because it was just fermenting in a bucket and stuff. Like this is just super clean and toasty, but it's also really damn cold. But let's try the porter, English porter. Cheers. That's actually surprisingly tasty. That is, like, it actually tastes quite English. I think the CO2 level is a little too low. It's almost like drinking a cask ale. It's very low. And I'm drinking this a little too cold. This works. It's toasty. It has like a brown malty note almost. And it was just a mixed extract. I'm guessing the powder in the extract, the malt extract, was just all kinds of different, like roasted barley or brown malt. Like it's not super roasty as porters shouldn't be. Like they're not like stouts. So it's like this more toasty, nutty, chocolatey character. Yeah, and jammy. It's got like dark fruit. I just think it has too little carbonation. But I'm guessing if I stop the brewing process, I could put more pressure on the machine to get more CO2 in the beer. Just put more pressure on with the CO2 vessel on the back. The competition with iGulu, there's a couple of these homebrew machines, but I feel like this one you can where it's also extracts, but I feel like this one you can dial in much more because you have like all these customization tools and like it's everything in one. It's cooling, it's got the CO2, it's pressurized. Like, yeah, it's really interesting. Like we have so much fruit in the garden. I have the master activation card. I really like, we have some stuff in the freezer, it's mainly cherries, but it would be fun next year when the fruit season is in full swing, press like apples, pears, some of the cherries and whatnot, and pasteurize that liquid and ferment a cider on it from homegrown ingredients. That would be really cool. I would call this a success. It's by no means the best porter I've ever had. It's not as good as like an all grain brewed recipe, but as a professional brewer, this tastes much better fermented than most home brews. You know, you can try in competitions and stuff like this. Some have off flavors and whatnot, but here, because things are quite under control, it doesn't taste off. The big thing as well is like, you know, you already have one step that you're skipping, which is all the mashing and everything because it's an extract brew. But I think this is a great idea for people who are into the idea of making beers themselves, but do not want the hassle. Or if you want to experiment with other fermented beverages where you can carbonate them. You can also use it for wine and meat or whatever, and then just not carbonate it and just pour it. But if you want to make like ciders or if you want kombucha, there's so many different things you can ferment on this that I kind of want to try, more so than brewing the beer kits actually. But we have one more beer kit which we're going to try on this one. It's going to take a while because it needs to be brewed and everything, which is a Mosaic Pale Ale. But it's the winter time, so I decided to go with a porter first. And I think, as I said, we're going to try and see if I can rank up the pressure on the tank a little bit in there just to get some more CO2. But otherwise, I'd call this a success. If you're into experimenting with fermentations and you like beer or other fermented beverages, this is a pretty damn cool gadget to have. If you guys are interested in buying an iGulu, you can use my affiliate link. I'll put it in the description below and you can get a discount on the machine. So very cool stuff. Something I think you should check out if you're into brewing and into fermentation, because it's a nice little gadget. It's not the cheapest around, but I think it's probably the most advanced, like easy access, easy to use homebrew unit I've seen. So fun stuff. Thanks a ton to iGulu for sponsoring this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it and look forward to some more. We're going to experiment a bit more with this machine and try to do some things ourselves. I have an idea. How about taking wort I brewed at Bad Seed Brewing and fermented in this and battle it against the beer that's fermented at the brewery? That would be pretty interesting. But cheers. Thanks a ton for watching. See you guys in another beer video.